Hello class, today I'm going to be talking to you about creating an intervention using the ecological theory to prevent students from using drugs. There are 5 steps in the ecological theory. The first is individual, the second is interpersonal, the third is institutions and organizations, the fourth is community, and the fifth is structures, policies, and systems. So when creating a successful intervention, you have to incorporate all these steps in order to be successful. The first one is individual. This has to do with your knowledge, attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors. So, in terms of drugs, you have to know what drugs are, how you feel about drugs, and your behavior would be if you are or are not doing them. Now, obviously, you shouldn't be doing drugs because they're bad for you. They can cause addiction or even kill you from overdosing, or they'll just ruin your life. So, don't do it. But some of the struggles for a person is like if they don't have any information about what drugs are, how they affect you, if they don't think that they're bad for you, and they just like the way it feels. The next step would be interpersonal, which is family, peers, social networks, and associations. When dealing with drugs, you may have family that do drugs that are the ones that got you into doing it, or peers such as like your friends if you went to a party and they kind of like were pushing you to do something even though either you did or didn't want to do it. So you wouldn't want to do drugs because they're not good for you, obviously, but for some people it's hard when they're trying to like be cool, or if their family or friends make fun of them because they don't want to. So there should be no reason why you should have to deal with that. So you would want to, in theory, find new friends. Your family you can't really change, but you should know based on you as a person and your knowledge about what drugs are not to do them. The next is institutions and organizations. This includes rules, regulations, policies, and informational structures. This would probably be the easiest one to talk about because there's not really very much that you can go against on this, other than not following the rules or laws, such as you're not allowed to do drugs, stuff like meth, heroin, stuff like that. That's already illegal, so you shouldn't have to worry about like that even being a rule. In all schools and stuff, jobs, they make you take a drug test to make sure you're not on any of those, and that could ruin your chances if you are taking them. The next step would be community, which has to do with social networks, norms, and standards. I think this has to include more about like your socioeconomic status and where you live, because based on where you live, if you live in like a poorer area, then seeing drugs and stuff like that would be a lot more common than people that are really wealthy and go to like a private school or have their parents like always around. But yeah, drugs can be more exposed to you if you live in those worser conditions, and it's kind of hard to get away from that. And the last would be structures, policies, and systems. So this would be local, state, federal policies and laws to regulate and support healthy actions. So there's already laws in place to not do drugs, but there's people that are like trying to change that. Say for example like marijuana, when California and Colorado and some other states have made it legal to smoke marijuana for medical uses, which could be possible, or which is good for the few that actually need it for that purpose. But there's a lot of people that take advantage of that and use it just to buy marijuana to smoke legally, even though they're not doing it for a medical purpose. They're doing it more just for like their own personal pleasure, which is not good. So in order to create a successful intervention, we need to incorporate all these steps by doing the right things, such as knowing what drugs are and the negative effects about it, hanging around people that that support not doing drugs, living a healthy lifestyle, drinking water, exercising, doing everything that they should do correctly. The policies are already in place that you shouldn't be doing these drugs, and jobs won't allow you to do them either. That's why they do drug screens and such. So please don't don't do any drugs, guys. Thank you.